Tammy.
I'm Lacey.
We're the Nutrition Twins, registered dietitians, personal trainers, and Q nutrition coaches for Kinetic.com. And today, we're going to be sharing with you some late night snacks and also addressing a rumor about late night eating.
So, word on the street has it that if you eat after 7 p.m., you gain weight. Have you heard this? Well, the science actually shows that if you eat dinner at 6:45 p.m. or if you eat that same dinner at 8:30 p.m., you don't gain weight. Wait, I know what you're saying. You're probably saying, well, all right, my mom lost weight when she ate dinner when she stopped eating at 7, or maybe I lost weight. What are you talking about? I stopped eating at 7, after 7 and I lost weight?
There's a reason behind it. Usually when people are eating later in the night, they're not just eating their dinner, they're having snacks, they're having other things, and they're eating that on top of their meal. So when they stop eating at 7 p.m., they cut out a huge source of calories. So of course they'll lose weight.
Goodbye cookies, goodbye cake, goodbye chips. You're not eating it after 7. It doesn't matter what time of day that you're eating those things. If you cut them out, you lose weight. And we always like to tell the story, not that we're saying go eat late at night and you should eat a ton late at night, but because we have so many clients that get home from work late sometimes, and they feel, oh no, I got home at 8 o'clock. They've already been tortured because their train probably didn't come in the first place. So they've already been penalized, and then they get home and they feel guilty if they eat, or they feel that they have to skip the meal and then they're penalized again. So we just say, go ahead, eat your dinner at 8, and that's the thing to do.
And you know what happens? If you skip that dinner, say you get home, it's 8 o'clock and you haven't eaten anything, you're starving, but you say, it's past 7 o'clock, I'm not going to eat anything. You get to your next day, you are ravenous. So then you have a big breakfast. You keep overeating all day long and you justify it. You say, I didn't have dinner last night, so I can make up for it. But what winds up happening is you have twice as much as you would have had you had dinner that night.
But let us just get this clear. We don't want any misconceptions. We're not saying go and eat a huge meal before you go to bed. No, we're definitely not saying that. We're saying if you do, let's say you get home and it's like very close to bedtime and you haven't had something to eat and you're wondering, what should I eat? Well, in that case, then really cut back what you'd want to eat. Have a light meal. We're not saying go to bed with a full stomach. That would be just blasphemy.
So it's a light meal. That always is the trick.
So now let's talk about these late night bites. Now, we're a fan of late night bites, so we're certainly not going to tell you not to have them. But there is a caveat, and the way that we feel that late night bites can really work, and that they work for us and they work for our clients, is they have to be planned for. So we grew up in a household where we always had dessert every night, but the way that it worked was we ate healthy most of the day, and we gave ourselves a little bit of room for that small indulgence. We recommend, if you're someone that's watching calories, that it would be about 150 calories if you can look at a food label or guess at or less for this indulgence. And that's after you've eaten healthy most of the day. So first of all, you plan for this indulgence. It's not suddenly like, okay, now I'm just gonna have my late night treat after I've gone hog wild all day. So that's the first way a late night bite works.
You also want to make sure that you're not eating it standing up, because most of us know when you eat something standing up, the calories don't count, right?
And why does it taste so much better standing up?
It does.
It really does. You know, when you take the spoon of ice cream and you're standing up versus putting it something, it just tastes so much better when you stand up.
So sit down.
But portion out, sit down, because too much damage is done when you're standing.
And don't eat straight from the bag or straight from the box or straight from a big container. Portion it out, sit down. You are very aware that way of what you're eating, as opposed to when you're sitting up eating in front of the pantry cabinet.
So those are our guidelines for late night bites. But now let's talk about some great late night bites that we recommend. Now, like we said, if you just know you love chocolate or there's something that you love, just stick to about 150 calories or less. But let's say you want to go for a healthier alternative and you don't want to do your something that's really indulgent to you, but you still want to have a good treat.
Or if you're someone who can't stick to the portion size of your favorite treat you know will send you overboard.
I forgot a very important point.
What?
You forgot it. Okay, we both forgot it, but she could have remembered too. Okay, the other thing that's so important about a late night bite is you don't want to plan for your late night bite and have it if you're really hungry, because then usually, hopefully, we all really like our late night bites. And like for us, our late night bite we look forward to. It reminds us that we really love certain foods and that we can enjoy it, but we can enjoy it in moderation because we can have it again on another night and not binge on it. But the key is you don't want to have your late night bite when you're really hungry, because then when you have one bite of it, Remember?
It won't do. One bite will not do.
No. So you really want to make sure you've had your dinner, you've had your healthy meals, because otherwise you don't even want to get into the late night bite situation because it's gonna snowball into one extra
Bad news.
Yeah, bad news. Into one more bite and one more bite.
So if you are someone who cannot control the portion size of your favorite treat, and yet you want something, but you want to make it healthier, and you're trying to cut back on sugar, we've got a lot of great suggestions for you tonight. First of all, we have to say we are chocolate lovers. So if we ever get in the mood for chocolate but feel like we wouldn't be able to control it, then what we do is we take dates and we roll them in a little cocoa powder, and it is delicious. Couple dates, a little cocoa powder, and it really gives you that chocolate.
Hit the spot. And let me also tell you another great thing about that date. It is really chewy and there's fiber in there, so you just get.
Takes a while,
but it's delicious and so good. So that's one of our favorite tricks, and it's much healthier, and you're getting fiber and nutrients and antioxidants. So that's one of our great secrets.
The fiber also helps to fill your stomach and keep you satisfied more than the regular chocolate would. So this is with cacao, so that's also great.
Yeah.
So that's a great one. If you like chocolate, try it. We know it sounds a little off, but don't knock it until you try it.
And another one that sounds a little bit off, but don't knock this one until you try it. If you have a sweet tooth craving, have 3 prunes. Well, I mean 3 plums, formerly known as prunes. 3 dried plums.
Dried plums.
Dried plums.
Formerly known
much
as
sexier.
before the prunes.
Yes, have 3 dried plums, and I promise you, you'll kill that sweet tooth craving. The same chewiness, it's so great.
And it lasts. It lasts for longer than something else.
It takes time. That's a good thing about chewing fiber. It takes time. You can't just swallow it in one gulp.
And we always recommend that to our clients who want an indulgence, but they don't want it to take, just be done in a second. A great trick is to go for something frozen like a popsicle, a fudge pop, or something warm, even like hot chocolate, because something that slows you down makes you take the time to enjoy it. And also by the time that you've really sat back and then relaxed and had it, you really feel more satisfied, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And with us, we discovered Arctic Zero. We really like this. This is an ice cream, and half a cup has 35 calories. It's not artificial sweetener. It uses monk fruit juice monk fruit, which is a natural sweetener. You've heard us talk about it before. It is so good because it's natural, but it's so sweet that you can use just a little bit, and it'll give you much more sweetness. So that's one of our things. Now, I will tell you about this 7 p.m. thing, where you're not supposed to eat after 7. Our thing when we were probably all in high school, our favorite treat was frozen, I think it was frozen, it was probably frozen yogurt at that time, but it was a frozen dessert.
That we bought it in a container, we put it in a bowl every night and make it last hours.
And we take our portion, we always had our TV show, we wanted to watch at 8, we'd take our portion and we wanted to be seated at 8. Exactly, like it was a movie theater, and then we'd eat our ice cream. Well, I remember there was one night between the time of high school and college, I was calling Tammy, we lived together, but I was calling upstairs to Tammy, Tammy, where are you? Where are you? Do you remember this?
No.
Where are you? It's time, it's almost 8 o'clock. I want to take our yogurt, where are you? And she wasn't answering. So I go upstairs and she's in the bathroom and she's brushing her teeth. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I've read that if you eat after, it's not good for you to eat after 7. Okay. Do you remember?
Slightly.
So you're just brushing your teeth, like no, that's it, no frozen yogurt? She's like, you don't have to do it. Like, oh great, so I'm gonna sit here and eat my yogurt and kill myself, and you're gonna be sitting there all pretty with your teeth brushed. So
that is annoying.
It was pretty annoying, and I haven't forgotten to this day. And we brushed our teeth all summer long at 7 o'clock because we fell for that. And I said, all summer long I was so deprived. So deprived. And when I actually finally got around frozen yogurt again, I think I had like 2 larges at the frozen yogurt store. So that's just a side note.
Now we're going to go over some quick snacks so we can answer your questions.
Another sweet one though, I would definitely say we love doing this, and we have some recipes on our website about this too. You can make your own sorbet, whether you just blend frozen fruit or put a little bit of yogurt in.
This is frozen, slightly defrosted.
Yes, it is so good. Actually, a delicious snack is buying frozen fruit and just letting it slightly thaw out. It is so sweet and delicious, and there's something about those juices when they've just started to thaw and it's still frozen that is the best treat ever.
And blending it with the yogurt, you can kind of make a sorbet out of it, which is really delicious.
Yeah.
One of her favorite treats, and it makes her house smell really nice, is she'll cut up apple, sprinkle some cinnamon on it, put it in the microwave, and it comes out and has...
She left out a step. She doesn't know what she's doing.
She makes it, not me.
But she's been in my apartment afterwards.
It smells really good.
Delicious. And what you have to do, it takes a little trial and error. Cut up an apple. You can see here, you take a whole apple, cut it into little pieces, put cinnamon all over it. Put a little bit of water, just a teaspoon or so. Put it in the microwave, 5 minutes. It might look a little bit like the inside of an apple pie. If it doesn't, put a little more water in, do another 30 seconds. It's gonna take a little testing, but when you nail it, you'll know. Don't give up on this one. I use a Fuji apple. It tastes like the inside of an apple pie. I keep it in the refrigerator. When I get a sweet tooth craving, I go right for my apple and cinnamon. It is amazing. So give that one a try.
Then, so those are great options for the sweet tooth and also cutting up frozen fruit. So if you we cut bananas into coins, put in a Ziploc bag, put in the freezer.
The secret with the banana,
frozen grapes. The secret with the banana is the overly ripe. Just when you think it's turning brown and you're ready to toss it, no. You cut it up into coins.
You gotta wait even longer than that. It has to be almost brown, almost all over. That's when it gets really delicious.
And
these
are
not ready.
Not ready. They need another week at least. Then so these are great for sugar sweet tooth cravings. If you get a salt tooth craving, here are some healthy options.
And remember, salt late at night, not ideal, because what salt does is it likes to be in a certain concentration in our body, and our body has a very special relationship with salt, because when we eat it, we want to keep it diluted. We don't want it to get too much. So we hold water in our body to dilute it, and that's what makes us bloated. So if you have a lot of salt at night, you're gonna wake up bloated, you're gonna have puffy bags on your eyes. You don't want it.
So here are some great salt stand-ins. We like taking popcorn or no salt added rice cakes, sprinkle some flavor in there. So some cinnamon, no sodium added in there, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, nutmeg. There's all different things you can experiment with, and it really helps with that salt tooth craving because there's a lot of flavor in there. Another thing, seaweed snacks.
These are amazing because they're so smart about this because they salt the outside of it. So the salt touches your taste bud immediately and it tastes so salty, but the amount of salt in it is so low. It's very amazing. So these are great. Now, I wouldn't recommend eating these if you just had one of those nights where you just feel like you want to munch forever, because you can eat through those pretty quickly. But if you just want to satisfy salt tooth, that'll do it.
Another great thing is celery. Celery is naturally salty. Dip it in some this is yogurt dip here. We have some peanut butter. A teaspoon of peanut butter goes a long way.
Unsalted peanut butter, surprisingly, it really helps to cut that salt tooth craving when you have celery on it.
Or you can make your own kale chips, sprinkle on the spices again, and really, that is a great salt stand-in. Now, so we hope we've helped with some ideas. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and take your questions. So if we didn't answer anything now, go ahead and bring us your questions. I'm just going to grab them.
To answer them. Thanks for asking them.
Okay. First up, Shop by Smooth asks, I work really long hours and get home late. Is it okay to eat big meals late? Also, what are some good late night snacks that will give me the energy I need in the morning?
Thanks, Shop by Smooth. That's a great question.
Okay. So if you get home late and you work long hours, kind of like we mentioned before, you want to still have something. You don't want it to be so heavy when you go to sleep that it's going to keep you up with an upset stomach, or you don't want it to be so heavy that it's kind of weighing you down.
But you don't want to skip the meal, because then remember, you're gonna wake up and overeat in the morning, and that'll just set you off for...
And you do need some energy in the morning. So always think about having those wholesome, quality carbohydrates, so some kind of grain, whether, it could be breakfast or dinner, so maybe a bowl of oatmeal with some nuts and some berries, that would be a good meal. Or a turkey sandwich, your eggs would be great.
With some eggs with the oatmeal.
So it's the quality carbohydrate with some protein, some lean protein, and then maybe something that's going to give veggies or antioxidants, maybe berries with it, whatever you're going to have. But
a yogurt parfait is great. And in fact, if there was something you had in mind to eat for dinner, just scale back the portion of it. It's still okay to eat it if you feel like you really want, let's say you're gonna have chicken and rice and vegetables, just eat a smaller portion of it. Yikes.
Okay, at Inspire Yoga NYC asks, if you do a late night snack, how much time should you allow for digestion before bed?
That's a great question. Remember, your late night snack, we only want it to be about 150 calories. So with that, it's not gonna need so much more. I would give it about at least an hour, ideally 2 hours, but because it's pretty small, you don't need so much time. Would you agree?
Yeah. At Benny Hart asks, great question, what's the best oil to use when cooking?
That's a good question.
Great question. It's a loaded question because it depends what you're doing with that oil. If you're cooking at a high temperature, you're going to need an oil that has a high smoke point so that it doesn't become rancid and break down and create toxins. So we'd recommend avocado oil, a non-GMO organic canola oil, or even olive oil.
And also keep in mind that normally you want to make sure that if you're someone that opens your olive oil or any of your oils and you let it sit out for a while, over time just light and air and heat, it causes the oil to go rancid. And a lot of us have rancid oil in our house. We don't even realize it. Luckily for some people, they taste it and they know, but some people don't recognize it. And in that process, a lot of harmful or toxins are created. So just really make sure that you are storing your oils correctly so that none of these toxins are broken down. And most people don't cook with flaxseed oil or something like that, but that's an oil with a very low smoke point. And
so that's not good for cooking.
Yeah.
But also, so keep your oil in a cool, dark place. Green glass would be ideal. Just you don't want it to be clear because then it will oxidize faster. Okay, and the second part of the question was, how much fruit is enough and when should you cut it off?
Oh,
great question, and I
question.
will tell you that a lot of people will buy bags and bags of grapes and eat them all, and this can really add up in calories.
And cause weight gain.
Yeah, shockingly, some people can go to these really healthy diets that can cause weight gain. So at each meal, one piece is ideal. So for example, that might be a small apple or a small orange or a cup of berries, a 3/4 cup of fruit or a cup of cut up melon, something.
That's for the average person, but some people are really exercising really hard and they have higher calorie requirements. Fruit's a great way to help fill up some of that calorie requirement instead of going for junk food, so then you can increase it more. And if you're someone that's just losing weight and you're eating very healthfully and you're getting your proteins and your vegetables and all your calcium and everything like that, you could really try to make up for get some of those extra calories that you need from fruit. So it's not a bad thing. And in fact, we get bombarded with research that the more fruits and vegetables you have, the lower your risk of so many diseases. So it's not a bad thing if you have the calorie space for it.
Thank you guys for your questions.
Thank you guys always for those questions. Those questions were
great. We are the Nutrition Twins. We are Q Coaches and signing out. We can't wait to see you next time.